COVID-19 has become a transformative event for the workplace and the workforce. It has driven the biggest disruption to the management of global talent in our working lifetimes. In a world full of uncertainties, one thing is certain. The global mobility we knew prior to COVID-19 will be very different to the world of global mobility in the future. What does global mobility 2.0 actually look like? I'm delighted to have the opportunity to collaborate with Catherine Osborne on this Globality Insights episode to explore what the future of global mobility may look like into the future and how business can prepare itself for the changes ahead. This is the first of a series of webcasts where Catherine and I will explore some insights on managing the changes taking place around global workforce management. Our insights will help business stay ahead of the impact of these trends, not only on their workforce but also their workplace, to ensure that you are offered the best chance to take advantage of the post-COVID economic recovery.
Even though there's limited people movement at the moment, businesses, talent teams and mobility teams are still busy thinking through their future workforce strategy. And that might include where work is done, by who, reskilling of the workforce, virtual mobility, remote working, the use of contingent or gig workers. And aligned to that, companies are thinking through how does their mobility strategy align to the workforce strategy? And then as a result of that, what changes need to be made to the mobility program to enable mobility to be managed effectively when mobility does start again. So looking at what new policies or processes might need to be put in place, what changes might need to be made to existing policies, and how can you better use the technology and data to manage that workforce so that when mobility does start again, and it will, that companies are prepared to manage mobility in a more strategic way and to manage the cost, increased risk and compliance, and the all-important employee duty of care. Top global mobility trends that I see as being fast-tracked as a result of COVID-19 are firstly the role of mobility and how important and how strategic mobility teams and mobility professionals are to the future success of organisations. The second is around the importance of data and technology, and a lot of companies are looking at fast-tracking implementations of technology to be able to manage their workforce in a compliant, effective manner. The third area is around well-being. I think every organisation now has really had to focus on the well-being of their employees, of their families, and that's going to happen even more so when there's virtual mobility arrangements or when people do start to mobilise again. And the last trend that I see being fast-tracked is around that future of work. So the workplace, where we're working, the work that we're doing and how we're doing it in terms of the nature of the workforce, that has all been, whether it's been fast-tracked or really completely disrupted as a result of COVID-19. We've been talking about the alignment of talent and mobility for some time now, and I believe that COVID-19 has really emphasised the importance of that alignment. And I think that businesses and mobility professionals that will be successful post-COVID-19 are ones that look at global mobility in a more holistic way, from a more global talent management perspective. And that might involve the role of mobility in identifying who within your workforce could be potentially reskilled for particular roles, managing the compliance and the employee experience aspect of physical mobility or virtual mobility, and really playing that strategic role in identifying how the workforce can be in the future. I think that the Asia-Pacific region will be critical for the future of mobility. The region was the first to be impacted by COVID-19 and the first to go through a series of quite significant cultural changes in the way of working, in particular remote working, reskilling of the workforce. And I think we'll see a number of global roles in the future that will actually be based in the Asia-Pacific region and be done remotely, and leveraging the great local talent that we have across a number of the countries within the region. We'll also see an increase in the use of shared service centres and mobility professionals coming out of locations such as Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, in addition to some of the more traditional locations such as China and India. And I think the region will be critical in the growth and the direction of the future of the mobility industry.
If you'd like to know more about the trends and insights we've shared during this webcast, please visit the Globability Group website. Alternatively, get in touch with us directly, where we can share some further details on our global workforce insights, as well as sharing some helpful planning tools. Now is the time to plan for Global Mobility 2.0. If business waits until borders reopen to build its post-COVID global workforce strategy, it will run the risk of becoming a victim of the operating environment imposed on it by government. A good first step would be to lift immigration within your organisation from being an enabler of talent to it being a strategic driver of building key talent hubs into the future. With the Asia-Pacific region poised to be the driver of global economic recovery, now is an ideal time to start planning.